Wow. Good morning, guys. Hey, I'm a minute late, but hey, whatever. Let's bring in Terry here. Oh, hang on. I'll put you back in the guest room there for a minute. Let you get set up there, my friend. And solo me. Hey, good morning, everybody. For those of you asking, I had a guy that commented, "Why is it that you're screwing up, or you're fixing things and you're doing stuff on the live stream? Why don't you just get to the material?" Because the material starts at 9 o'clock. This is my time. Technically, this is my time to sit and bullshit with you guys and say good morning. This is also my time to work out all the little details that need to happen with Ecamm and Rodecaster and Stream Deck and all the crap, the 3-ring circus that I've got around here. So, good morning. And for those of you that want me to get to it, hey, you know what? Turn the stream on at 9 o'clock, or skip forward if you're watching the playback right now. Skip forward 15 minutes, and we'll get right to it at that point. Got me a fresh cup of coffee here. Everything is looking good. We got Terry in the house today, in case you haven't seen. Terry, you ready for me to bring you in? Whenever you're ready, you give me a thumbs up, and I'll bring you in there. Let's see, who do we have? Man, we got 13 thumbs up already. 33 people in the house. Holy crap. I'm nervous. Now I'm nervous. There's a lot of people here. 8 nodes currently in the house. I've done a little bit of redoing on the way things are looking here. Okay, well, that might be a little issue, because that's now in the back, but you could still see a little bit of it, right? Let me, I'll make it a little smaller and bring it in over here, and that way you guys can still see. Haven't even started yet. 8 in here. Thumbs up, 11 thumbs up. That is freaking awesome. Pamela in the house. Pamela kind of helping to moderate things around here. Jeff also in the house. Good to see you, my friend. Newsbreak. Basketball legend announces retirement at Paris Olympics. Who cares? Who cares? It's not like we don't have more important things going on in the world. But, you know, hey, basketball legend's got to announce his retirement. Chris Hale, good morning from Boise. Good morning. Chris, good morning from Twin Falls and the Southern Idaho Command. And Yemen and Lebanon. If we're talking Israel, anything will happen. USA is in no condition to occupy Iran. Normie, yeah, I think that's going to be one of the issues we're going to see is who's going to occupy, and I I think you're right. The U.S. is in no position for an occupation. Garrett. Good morning, my son. Garrett, my son. He loves my new haircut. You guys like my new haircut? That looks pretty good, I think. Let's see. New screen layout here. And we'll be trying all kinds of new stuff. After the show, Discord, my friends. You can follow the link there at the bottom of the screen, or copy it or whatever, and get into our Discord. I'll actually post that up, and let's see if I edit my text. I'll copy it. I'll get rid of that, and I'll put that in there. Yeah, after the show, we go meet over at Discord. And it's a lot. It's kind of like this, but it's not. It's where you guys are in there just alongside me, and we're all talking. And we can all just discuss stuff. It's very, very cool. I'm a big fan of it. Biden's never going to make it till November. Hello. Oh, no. Please, let's not say hello to President Kamala. Yeah, but I have a feeling you're right. I have a feeling she'll be installed as president prior to the election. I also have my doubts that she'll allow, or that she won't attempt some kind of a takeover, some kind of a coup. And let me go back into here, blow that one out. Oh. Why? Everything needs to hang on here. I need to go in and lock this stuff down. The YSF dashboard needs to be locked. The Wires X dashboard needs to be locked. I'm going to, let's see, I'm going to test this before we start. Wow, 9 nodes in the house here. We've got just a few minutes before we're going to get going with this. But one of the things that I'm going to try here is Terry TEDx Talk guest Terry. Oh, yeah, there it goes. I could bring Terry in, and there he is. So, good morning. Good morning, Terry. How you doing?
Good morning. I'm doing fine. I have
Good.
tape I have tape all over everything here because to get the camera or the phone sitting there where it won't fall down, and then my 991 wants to fall down, and so I have it taped up so everything sits. So I'm good. I'm good.
Well, nice. Very cool. Very cool. Hey, and I just forgot what I was going to say. You guys might remember Terry. Terry's a regular here. Terry's also a retired pastor, kind of. I don't know how you retire from, you can't retire from the Lord. So I don't know how that happens. But, Terry, a couple of weeks ago he was here in Studio A, and he did a thing on some of the spiritual aspects of prepping and what's going on in the news. And he's back to do some more today. Terry, do you want to go back in the green room, or you want to sit here?
Well, I can sit here until you're
Okay.
ready.
All right. So we're about 4 minutes out from starting the net, and we're trying this. This is kind of different. If this works on the net, if it works without, now you guys tell me. thumbs up or thumbs down. Well, no, not the thumbs down. Tell me if Terry's got an echo on his voice. If he does not have an echo, tell me it's his audio is okay. Because this is our pregame warm up here, and we get to test all this stuff out. If this works, I'm going to try to bring in other people as more guests and do things like Matt with sit reps. Matt, would you be interested in doing that? Let's see. Pinch it off. Of course, that is the play. I am not sure. I couldn't see that before. Yeah, my new haircut. Pain shod. I don't know if that's a thing. Could show she's incapable before the election. Yeah, that I would love for her to show how freaking incompetent she is. But I did learn something. That little saying, we're going to be unburdened by the... What the hell? Oh, that's the window. I got the window open over here, and I was like, what the hell is going on outside? Unburdened by our past, and, something... I learned that is a direct quote from Mao, and she's a huge, big fan from Mao. Good. No echo. That makes me happy. Terry, does that make you happy too? No echo.
Yeah, that's nice.
I'm gonna have to get you a little remote microphone though, to throw on your lapel. Yeah, Matt says he could do that. He does a ton of video calls a week from home. That's awesome. Monkey Works calls her Bob Marley. Yeah, that was, I'll tell you what, that was pretty freaking interesting. We got like 1 minute here, and then we're gonna start. I'm going to start here. So Terry, I'm gonna put you back in the green room for a second, and I'm gonna put up maybe. Yep, I'm gonna put back up the intro thing, and we'll get back to Terry in just a minute. And let me get my newly done preamble up here. All right, let me see if I've got it. K6UDA. Yep, give me a quick second. Okay, hang on, guys. I've got to turn that down. Get rid of the echo. I got to get rid of that echo in there. All right. All right, good morning. This is Bob, K6UDA. Welcome to the... Oh, Terry? Hang on here. Give me a quick second. Okay. There we go. No more echo from Terry. Welcome to the Southern Idaho Preparedness Net. I'm Bob, K6UDA, your net control host this morning. This net meets every Saturday morning, 0900 hours Mountain Time on the K6UDA repeater, located deep within the Southern Idaho Command, hidden it in Twin Falls, Idaho. This digital radio net accessible via Wires X Room 40448 and YSF Reflector 40448. The Idaho Command. It's also available on the Hanson Butte 2-meter fusion repeater 145.170. Local hams with analog radios can also participate using the KB7DFP repeater 442.000. The purpose of this net is the free exchange of information related to emergency preparedness, commonly known as prepping. We encourage deep dives into subjects related to food, water, shelter, personal protection, weapons, survival tactics, medical issues, communication gear, and techniques. I'm looking for subject matter experts to lead discussions on these various subjects. If you have material you'd like to present or discuss, when you check in, please indicate you have a subject. Although not primarily political, discussion of relevant political, cultural, or religious events are welcome in the context of situational awareness and survival. In order to give everybody an opportunity to be heard, I'm going to do check-ins and comments in the following order. First, local repeater check-ins. Then Wires X. If you're on a Wires X node anywhere in the world, you could check in. And then YSF check-ins. And finally, we'll get to Jeff, KD8IOK, for his take on live stream comments. You're encouraged to check in with your call sign location, how you're getting into the net, i.e. the local repeater, Wires X, or YSF. That being said, do we have any local check-ins?
Number 7, Victor, Kilo Hotel.
Okay, ending in hotel. You were cut off on the first part.
Kilo 7, Julie Tango Kilo, Matt from Fall.
All right, Matt, we got you in there. Thanks for joining. Ending in hotel. There was a call ending in hotel, or Victor Hotel. I think it was John locally. Go ahead and try again.
Yeah, Bob, John, N7 VKH out here in Kimberly, Idaho. We'll be monitoring on the YouTube channel. I got stuff to do outside.
Gotcha, my friend. Thanks for joining. Let's see. There was somebody else that came in through, I think, KB7SQS. Go ahead and try.
Kilo 7, Charlie, November, mobile, heading to the Tooth National Forest.
Ah, my farmer friend Mike, how you doing, brother? K7CAN. Good morning. Welcome to the net. Any other local check-ins?
KJ7RAR, Terry, Twin Falls, and on the repeater.
All right, Terry. Good to hear you on the net. Local check-ins.
After a moment, Natalie accepted the gifts on their behalf.
All right. How about Wires X? Wires X check-ins anywhere in the world.
KD8IOK, Jeff, Dallas City, Michigan, Wires X.
All right, Jeff. Hang on here. I've got to mute that too. That was that echo was kind of ugly. Good to hear you, and good morning. All right, Wires X check-ins.
KD7, POV, Bryce, and Wilder.
All right. Good morning, Bryce, KD7VLB from Wilder, Idaho. Good morning. Wires X check-ins at this time.
W6CJ, J in Los Angeles.
All right, W6CJ, Jay from Los Angeles. Good to have you on the net. And we might check in with you later to see if there's anything going on in that part of the world that we need to be aware of out here. Wires X check-ins. All right. How about YSF check-ins?
Kilo Foxtrot 0, Oscar Hotel Uniform. This is Sean in Frigley, Minnesota.
All right, Sean, good morning. Welcome to the net from all the way from Minnesota. YSF check-ins. Okay. Hearing none, we'll come back to more check-ins a little bit later. Let's see. Let's move down into sit reps. Basically, for those of you that might be new, what a sit rep is a situational report, and it's news and information. Very simply, but it might affect how we have to conduct our lives and our preparedness. So a sit rep is any relevant news story that's going to have an impact on our preparedness, our ham radio survival or survival radio. As far as I'm concerned, the Second Amendment, or in our case, Idaho, the state of Idaho. So I'm gonna go over to Matt KK7JTK because Matt's always got good sit reps for us. Matt, go ahead.
Good morning. This is Kilo 7 Julius Tango Kilo. We're tracking quite a few things this week. A lot of activity in the Middle East. I wanted to start with UK though. There was a knife-wielding attacker, killed 3 children, and as the UK government sought to keep his identity secret, big protest broke out in the street. Many cities of the UK. One thing that I think pertains to us is the AI facial recognition technology break. So that's the industry I work in. I sell radio security systems and stuff, and there's some really good YouTube videos on defeating facial recognition and AI stuff like that. So I think that, you know, as people are standing up for their rights and these types of technologies are being used against them, I think it's pretty important to understand how to defeat some of the different technologies, and really some simple low-tech items to do that. So just go out, spend some time preparing and researching defeating facial recognition break. I'm sure by now most of us have heard of the airstrikes in the Middle East this week. So Israel conducted a couple of small single munition airstrikes, taking out certain leaders, and one of those was Ishmael Hamia, who was considered to be one of the negotiators back during the Gaza peace talks. We're not really sure exactly how much he was involved, but hours before his death, he was in the Iranian parliament chanting, death to the United States. And this is a really important airstrike because it's beyond the capabilities of the aircraft to fly straight there. It's beyond the capabilities of current munitions, but also Iran's air defenses were supposed to be upgraded enough to not allow this to happen, break. So as simple as this seems, what it looks like is Israel is showing that they can evade their air defense systems at will and can provide precision munition attacks into the capital, into Tehran. So they have also conducted other missile strikes into Yemen, Syria, Lebanon, and those were against Hezbollah, Houthi, and IRGC leadership all at the same time. So, of course, the response to that is Houthi and Hezbollah are planning to coordinate attacks with Iran. Last week we reported that the Houthis were able to successfully get a drone strike into Tel Aviv. Break. Later during the week, we learned that they were able to sneak that drone in via commercial flight patterns, and that's why we're seeing all those flights canceled into Israel this week. I think as of right now, today, almost all commercial flights are still suspended in and out of Israel. So I think they've detected a vulnerability and obviously are making plans around that, but that's a pretty big deal when you have to suspend all commercial air traffic into your country. Break. I'm not 100% sure, but I saw some talk of this morning in the chat and before the show. U.S. Senator Graham has proposed a joint resolution, 106, to declare war on Iran this weekend. And so what that looks like, obviously, is that would be the U.S. going to war with Iran. Another interesting development we reported earlier after it was discovered, because it had actually happened a month before we reported it here on the preparedness net, that 2 Jordanians tried to attack the Marine Corps base at Quantico. And then today, or this week, those 2 Jordanians were released. They're both illegal aliens, so ICE let them go. I'm not sure if they deported them or just let them go. I don't have any other information on that. Break. And again, on the home front, there was an ammonia leak at a Virginia plant that hospitalized 26 workers. For those of us locally, the biggest sources of those are over in Pocatello, the Simplot plant. There was someone that passed away one day when I was out there working from ammonia exposure, and then also that FNC plant that's been capped off. That used to be that. So just be aware that sometimes these industrial accidents can hurt us here at home. And one last thing, there is some protests happening down in Texas where people are still without power, and foreign power companies coming in to help. One of the workers were attacked, and so it's pretty rough when you've been out of power for 2 or 3 weeks after a small hurricane comes through. So that's it for me on the sit reps. This is Kilo 7 Juliet Tango Kilo.
All right, Matt. Thank you for that. Let's see. And this is Bob, K6UDA, for the Southern Idaho Preparedness Net. Let's see. A couple of things that I have. There has been very recently, getting back to some more domestic stuff, a leaked Secret Service email from a now former counter sniper team member who's a whistleblower, warning of another potential attempt on President Trump. It seems very improbable to me that as many coincidences that led up to the attempt on Trump back on the 13th of last month were actually coincidences. I see nefarious stuff going on. Let's see. In other news, still on the U.S. front, Google and Meta have both been caught red-handed committing straight-up election interference. Up until 2 days ago, if you Googled Donald J. Trump assassination attempt, the autofill would return absolutely nothing. Now, if you, coincidentally this morning, if you type in assassination attempt, the Reagan assassination attempt comes up in autofill, but nothing about Trump. So it's still going on. The left has also figured out, and I'm going to let it break. The left has also figured out that images of Trump with his raised fist and bloody face are way too powerful for them to combat. So they're now trying to scrub those from the internet. They're banning them on Facebook. People are getting posts deleted, shadow banned. And then on Google searches, those images are not coming up if you do a search on there. Very, very interesting. Let's see. This morning, we've got a special guest in the house here, and I might have to play with my sound levels once we go. Terry, off to my right here, and I need to unmute you, Terry. I'm going to unmute you here. And I need to, let's see. Nope, I'm going to leave that up, and we'll see how you do. Terry, good morning.
It's KJ7RER. Good morning.
Good morning.
Oh, very good with the mic in your hand and everything. I love it. Because this is a radio net, guys. For those of you just watching on YouTube, remember this is a ham radio net going on also. Let's see, Terry. I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to you. Terry has our big theme for today. So go ahead.
Okay, thanks, Bob. Bob and I have been talking quite a bit about prepping, and one of the questions are what and why are we prepping for? What's the reason? The hurricanes, problems, terror attacks, all kinds of stuff. And what's interesting is we also discussed and said, why is it so hard for other people to get involved, family, friends, that just don't get involved in any kind of preparing food or anything for the future? So we asked some questions. And it was very simple. This is how we're going to start. Why don't people prep? And the biggest thing we figured out is because they just don't believe that anything truly is going to happen. They don't see or perceive the danger before them. They just don't think it's going to happen. Their thought is, well, I'm not concerned. It has never happened to me before. And whatever happens, the government will take care of it. The emergency that we're experiencing right now won't last for long. I can outlast it. Or I'll figure it out sometime after it happens. But they don't comprehend the depth of the coming storm. And that's what I want to talk about this morning. The coming storm. I know a lot of the things I'm going to talk about, most of you or many of you are quite aware of. And so I'm just going to repeat some things that you already know. Bob, am I still coming through?
Yeah, you are.
Okay. I just want to make sure I break when I need to break. So let me know if I'm not breaking enough at the right times. And those of you that are listening, watching, just bear with me because I don't have anything to tell me that I've gone too long. So let's just hope that works. Still coming through, Bob?
Yes, you are.
Okay. Okay, so here's the question. What are we watching take place right now? And what is about ready to happen in this country and around the world, and why? First of all, let's just say that the goal of the American elites and the deep state, what are their goals? And that is, first of all, to eliminate the power and the influence of America around the world, to weaken U.S. military superiority. And we are, in reality, seeing that happen. We're seeing our military it's becoming a joke. The name of America is a joke around the world, especially with our current president. The next is to break the alliance and support between America and what it has with Israel as an ally, to make America into a third world nation, powerless, defenseless. And one of the big ones is to designate Christians and patriots as terrorists. They want to create gun laws that would disarm citizens and their ability to protect themselves and the country. So the question is why? Why? Well, what?
Hang on, Terry. You got to let it unkey for a minute. You are off the air. Okay, go ahead and key it up.
Okay, maybe I'm not letting it break long enough.
Right.
Okay. So I don't know how much you guys got or didn't get, but just let me go real quickly. The goal of the elites, the deep state, and the one world government around us is to eliminate the power and influence of America around the world, to weaken U.S. military superiority, to break the alliance that America has with Israel, to make America a third world nation, powerless, defenseless, to designate Christians and patriots as terrorists, and to create gun laws that would disarm the American citizens so they have no ability to prepare and protect themselves. Let's talk about how this is working. First of all, we all know what just happened a while back with President Trump. And we've been talking about that. Bob and I and others have been talking about that for over a year. We said that there's going to be, for sure, there's going to be an attack on Trump. Trump, they cannot allow, listen to me, they cannot allow Trump to become president again. They cannot allow it. Some of you know and have heard the name Yuval Noah Harari before. He's Klaus Schwab's right-hand man and involved in this. And he was asked in an interview recently something that we all should be afraid of. And this was the question he asked, right? Question was, if Trump is elected, will it be, or no, this is what he said. This is his response when asked. If Trump is elected, it will be the death blow to what remains of the global order. And he says that openly. Okay, Trump is not a part of the cabal. even though some people like to say he is. He's not. And when he was elected, that was a surprise, and it messed up the working of the New World Order that we've heard the former President Bush say openly, and others say openly, this is their goal, one world order, or which we would say one world government, right? So when Trump became president, it truly messed up their plans. It threw it back. For 4 years, it threw it back where other nations who had everything locked in and going smoothly began to have problems with their people rising up and saying, "What's going on? We're not liking where you're taking us," and they're starting to rebel. You can see that in different countries around the world, and so they cannot allow President Trump to come in again. Right. If President Trump is elected again, that would throw off their plan to one world government maybe for years and years and years, and they can't do that. So I'm telling you, everything we're seeing happening right now, Trump is going to be either assassinated, they're going to do it again, it may be a different way, but they're going to do it. They'll find some way to make sure he is not, even if it means taking us into World War, to where they say there's not going to be any elections because we're in the middle of a battle, and that's something they could do. So what's going on and what's happening? In order for this to work, break, Trump has to become disassociated. And we think, well, what does it have to do with America? Well, let's look at Israel for a minute. Right now, Israel is on the cuff of major war with Iran and all of its proxies that surround them. And the Bible says that in the last days, this is going to happen. The nations surrounding Israel, break. The nations surrounding Israel will together come against Israel. Now, America has been limiting and hindering the ammunitions that they've been sending to Israel. Now, remember, Israel isn't getting these things for free like Ukraine. They are buying it, but they're just not getting it from America. They're not getting it from Great Britain now. So what's happening is they're trying to squeeze them and say, you don't have the weapons, so therefore you can't go to battle. But what that says to the nations that hate Israel is, hey, this is a great time to go to battle. Let's come to battle where they don't have the ammo, and we will overpower them. But they're forgetting one major event. And that is that God will come and intervene for Israel. There's going to be a great battle over in Israel. It's going to happen. Iran is going to happen. They don't like them or they don't like us. And so this kind of battle is going to happen. And so we need to be prepared for it. So people aren't prepping because they just don't think it's going to happen. But it's going to happen. And it's going to happen soon. I'm surprised it hasn't happened. In fact, just 3 days ago, Iran said they were going to attack Israel within 72 hours. Today is 72 hours. They haven't started yet. I don't know when they're going to do it, but they will do it. Let me check with Bob. Bob, is everything coming through okay?
Yes, Terry. Everything seems to be coming in very nicely right now. And you know what? I need to take a quick second to ID, and you'll need to ID also. This is K6UDA for the Southern Idaho Preparedness Net, and that's KJ7RAR. Go ahead, Terry, you can ID also. And maybe we should open it up to Jeff for comments on the live stream side.
Okay. Yeah, I've got a couple comments going a little ways back. Let's see. Going back to some of the sit reps, Howard Buck states that the strike that happened with the target in Iran was not an aircraft strike, but a pre-planted explosive. he also states, and I have Googled and verified with several other sites, the Navajo Indian Nation intends to block uranium ore being transported across their reservation. Something to do with permits and not asking for permission, and that is down in Arizona. Let's see. Great. Well, I'm looking a couple more up. Hold on. Okay. Pamela talks about middle-class relatives and friends' attitude is it's better to be uninformed. They don't want to think about it or prepare for it, and I agree with her. I see and hear that more and more with people that I try to discuss this with, friends and family. It's like they're just oblivious to what's going on. They have no concept or just choose to ignore what we discuss every week on this net. And just a comment about the net itself, Gene McPhee states that this weekly net energy boosts his spirit and his feeling, and it lets him know that he's not alone in prepping, and this causes him to research new topics every week after the show. I totally agree with him. Where I'd love to have a community with most people on here, it's not practical just because of our distance between us. But the idea of sharing that we have here and the things that we learn from people like Terry and Matt with the sit reps is priceless. And that concludes the comments for now. Over.
Go ahead, Terry.
Okay. Hey, thanks, Jeff. That was interesting. Okay, so let's get to the nitty gritty. What's happening in America and around the world? Now, understand that in order to make America, this is KJ7RAR, by the way. I forget doing that. I get talking and preaching here, and I just forget to do it. So, what's going on is America has 340 million people, and the southern gates have been opened up. Terrorists have come in, Palestinian terrorists, just Arab terrorists, Chinese. All of these people have come in with the purpose of getting ready when the whistle blows. I'll use the whistle blows. That's happening around the globe. Break. Probably 15 years ago, maybe 20 years ago, I watched as hundreds of thousands of Muslims, immigrants, were entering Germany and France. And I said to the church then when I was pastoring, I said, Germany has just been occupied by an enemy without a shot being fired. And so has France, so has America, and all of these countries that are being infiltrated by the Muslim. And not all, we all say the Muslims aren't all terrorists. Of course they're not, break. But they don't stop those that are terrorists. And you can have hundreds of thousands of Muslims and have thousands and thousands of terrorists that could do damage to a country and even destroy it. So we have to understand this is what's happening in America. They're here. They're waiting to be released to do their job. So what's happening around the world is that right now the nations have been filled with the Muslims, the populations. They are changing their culture of the countries that they are in. They are causing crimes and all kinds of difficulties, and the nations are now starting to wake up. Break. And now that they wake up, there's nothing they can do about it. They're slowly being occupied and taken over. Now, as this happens, when the war begins against Israel, from the Houthis and from the Hamas and from the Hezbollah and Syria and Turkey saying they're going to come and invade, and Iran, all these nations, they're going to come full bore, just like they did in '67 and the other wars, and with a desire of destroying and taking down Israel and killing every single Jew that they can kill. Break. Let's understand that Hezbollah, that Hamas, they're not interested in a two-state solution. They don't care. They don't want a two-state. They want a one-state. They want the Jews gone and dead and them to occupy the land of Israel. Not Palestine, Israel. There's always been Israel. Break. The problem is they're moving this way quickly, and this is how they are. The elites are bringing us into a one world or new world order, one world order. They're taking over each of these nations and bring. Hey, let's remember something. The United Nations, the majority of them are Muslims. They're the ones that make the rules and the laws. WHO, they're filled with Muslims and terrorists. There's no good people on the inside here. Their purpose is to create a one world dictatorship, one world government. I know that sounds nuts, but the Bible prophesied this years ago, and it's coming to pass, and we're seeing it come to pass. So what's going to happen is going to be a big war, and the war is going to, it's just going to open up, and it's going to create problems everywhere around the globe. Food shortages, electrical. You know, when the whistle blows, when they say, okay, it's time to do it, and the war goes against Israel, be prepared at that time when all breaks loose and Iran comes against Israel with all Hezbollah, Houthis, Hamas, Turkey. When that happens, know that we're going to have problems in America at that point. The terrorists in America that have been prepared and ready to go will be set loose. Cities, especially large cities, will have all kinds of problems. We already see what's going to happen or what's happening with the Palestinians. They are causing havoc wherever they exist. That's what they do. They're violent wherever they go. And I know that sounds terrible and it sounds wrong, but it's true. They cause havoc wherever they go. Break. So we need to be prepared in this country. So if it goes to war, if it breaks loose over in Israel, it's going to affect us here because that's when the terrorists that are already planted, already set, are going to start doing their damage. That could be suitcase EMPs. It could be just attacks on the grids. It could be attacks in our towns. Who knows what it's going to be. So we need to be prepared with food, weapons, and whatever else it takes. Bob, I could go on and talk about this for a long time. Do you have any thoughts or questions you want to talk about or bring up?
Yeah, Terry, let me pick up the mic here. And a couple of questions that I have is a lot of folks in the chat. Oh, and this is K6UDA, by the way. A lot of folks in the chat are asking questions or talking about who do we side with, especially like with Turkey, who we have military bases in Turkey. We also have a promise to protect Israel, and what's going to happen? How does the U.S. fit into this whole thing, or do we? I'm of the belief that somehow we're going to be rendered completely useless or irrelevant in this whole thing.
Thanks. This is a good question. This K6, no, your K6UDA. This KJ7RER. Good question. And Turkey, don't forget, is part of NATO, so they should not be attacking Israel, part of NATO. And they're breaking the law by doing that, but they don't care. This is not the way they think. Understand that the Muslims, in their own writing, their purpose and their goal is to take over the world for Islam. What are they doing? They're setting up and they're waiting for what they're called their imam, their Mahdi. Their Mahdi is their Christ. Their caliphate needs a boss. Their boss is the Mahdi. It's the Antichrist, our Antichrist. Their Christ, our Antichrist. And that's what they're waiting for. And Turkey and Erdogan always has considered himself one that might fit that goal. I don't know if it is or not, but Turkey is the area, Turkey and Syria is the area where the Antichrist comes out and comes from. Contrary to what people believe, they think it's going to be in Europe. Break. They think that the Antichrist will will come out of Europe, one of the 10 European common Martian nations, or one of those, but it's not. The Bible teaches us he's an Assyrian. He's going to come out of the early Babylonian Empire. And so we're going to be pretty much useless. We're out of weapons. I mean, we're out of ammunition. We've sent billions of dollars to Ukraine and weapons, jets, and everything, but yet we won't send anything to Israel. Why? Because I believe those who are in office at this point, and we all know who's in office and we know who's controlling everything, they want Israel to fall, and they want America to become a third world nation. We will not, I don't believe, enter into, well, we may enter into some kind of a skirmish with Iran in order to create a war, in order to stop the elections, but it won't be a full scale type because we do not have the ammunitions, and neither does Iran at this point. But they do have somebody else. Hang on a sec, right? Iran has buddied up with Russia, China, and North Korea. And right now, they're working together as allies. So we couldn't, right now, we could not handle all four of those, even if we wanted to. But I don't think that's going to happen. So, yeah, there's airfields in Turkey and in that area. So what our Marxist communist type of politicians are going to do, those who are in charge of the presidency, I don't know. I don't know which way they're going to go, to be honest. Break, go ahead. This KJ7RAR. You have another question, Bob?
Let me see if I've got it here. No, not at the moment. That was a great answer, and echoed by some other people. Birdbath Daily in the comments. Maybe we should open it up to radio. Anybody else on the radio want to comment, ask a question, or make a statement? Anybody else on the radio want to do want to check in? We'll do check-ins now. Okay, no check-ins, no comments from the radio. Plenty of comments on YouTube. Let's pass it over to Jeff, KD8IOK, for a minute, and let him read some comments from YouTube.
KD8IOK. Actually, there's not many from my last broadcast, but let's see. To try to circumvent or convince family and friends that we need to prepare, Pamela is giving out cert manuals at test sessions, and they're having cert classes being set up. She also puts cert manuals into a first aid kit or let's see. She also suggests being mentally prepared, know that the discernment and awareness of our community and surroundings will heighten. And Birdbath Daily just basically asked everybody in chat, how have you guys engaged with your neighbors? Like, how do you approach them to get on board? Over.
Oh, looks like Terry went offline here, or he muted himself. How do you guys engage with your neighbors? Like, how do you approach them to get on board? That's a tough question and a very easy question for me. Here, I kind of approached everybody individually as I was talking with them. Hang on here. Let me run here. And Terry is now back in the guest room. And let me get him, stand by for a second. Let me get him back online here. Oh, come on. Terry, go ahead and hang up again and come back in. There we go. And we're going to bring you in. Maybe.
KD8IOK, I'm just going to put another comment out there from the chat. Sean says, what about supply chain issues? All of our goods come from overseas, or at least most of them. War starts equals trade stops, and that's a very big concern, and that's why we need to prep.
This is KJ7IR.
You got it. You're in.
Yes, Jeff, whoever said that is right on. That's exactly one of the problems. We already have problems with the Houthis blocking the strait there. Countries can't get their products through. It's going to get worse. Let me quickly just do the final goal here, and I'll wind down this stuff here. Let me take a break real quick. To eliminate, the final goal is to eliminate Israel, the little Satan, and America, the big Satan. That's us. The Muslim nations surrounding Israel will soon attack Israel from all sides. Because the current U.S. leadership will soon become overwhelmed and underarmed. I don't believe that's an accident. I believe that's done purposely by America and Britain. The thing that they don't realize is if they force Israel to have to use nukes, I don't think they're thinking about that. If we don't have the weapons, we're going to have to protect ourselves somehow. Break. The armament shortage will encourage the Muslims to attack Israel, and that's what's happening right now. But before they are destroyed, I believe God is going to intervene. And in order to prevent the Muslim nations from being completely wiped out and destroyed, there will be an individual, a Muslim leader, that will bring peace treaty between Israel and the Muslims. And I believe he's the future Mahdi for the caliphate of the Muslims. That's my opinion based on 40 years of studying the end times. So we're in that place right now. We're at a place right now of danger. In all the years I've been studying end times, I have never seen it all come together like this. It's just lined up textbook, just the things that the Bible had said is going to happen. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's happened 1, 2, 3, 4. And we say, well, we've always had wars. Israel's always had wars. It's never come together like it has now. A convergence of all the things the Bible says is going to happen before the end times are ignited has happened and is happening, which means very simply that we are in a place that we've never been before. Break. I know I sound like a preacher right now, but I guess that's because I am. But it's also because I watch what's going on in the world. I've been doing this for, since the 70s. In fact, I was a cop when I started studying this thing and watching things come together. The Trilateral Commission and CFR, all these things happening. And all the things that were programmed to happen are here. Everything, even more than I expected. And to be honest, if the battle between Iran and Israel starts soon, I think that will be the end of it. I don't think once the battle starts with Iran and Israel, there's no stopping until it's done. So we need to be prepared. Put food away. Have your generators break. Have your water supply. Have your ammunitions ready, because remember, when it happens, it's just not going to be America as regular. And see, before, I remember back in the 73, I was a cop, and I remember when Israel was having a war then, gas was up to what, $3, $4 a gallon then, or if you could get it. But we were still living our life in America, just inconvenience. That's not going to happen this time. KJ7RAR, break. This time, when that happens, it's going to affect the globe. And that's how they are working it into a one world government, because they are going to save the world by having one government, by having one leader. And that's the New World Order that Bush was talking about, and Kissinger was talking about, and all these so-called traitors of America in our past. Now, let me make this clear. I am a patriot. I'm a veteran. I'm a Christian, and I love my country, but I am just angered at what the leaders have done purposely to this country to destroy the constitutional republic that we had. And so I'm going to end it here. I'm done. I got more that I could go on, but I'm going to go ahead and break it. So Bob, I'm turning it back over to you. KJ7RAR.
All right. Man, that was good. That was awesome, Terry. Do we have any questions, comments, or anything from radio? Let's we'll ask now, and you can ask questions of Terry if you want. Wow, 14 nodes online, 78 people on the stream right now. This is pretty bitchin'. That's all I could say. There's a lot more people that are waking up to this, and really, really good. Let me open it up to radio. All right, VLB, go ahead.
I was curious as to what parents do with their adult children who refuse to acknowledge that there could be issues where you should be prepping. And they see us prepping, but they don't want to have anything to do with it. So we kind of wonder, well, we can acquire as much as we can to help them, help neighbors, but it can only go so far.
Yeah, great question, and that's something that that I have dealt with. My children, they understand. They've been raised with this for most of their lives, with the proper mentality of being self-sufficient. It kind of came to light for them during the great toilet paper outage of 2020. All of a sudden one day there was no more toilet paper to be had. Mrs. K6UDA and I had been stocking up on toilet paper for some time, and all the kids, they came to us and they said, "Hey, do you have any toilet paper we can borrow?" As if they were going to pay it back. It woke one of them up a little bit, and now she's kind of preparing with a little more. But they grew up in a in a household and a world where everything always worked. The lights always came on when you flipped the switch. There was always food in the refrigerator. They've never wanted for anything, and for that matter, in the grand scheme of things, neither have we. But we've always, and I say us as a collective here, we have always understood that we are 3 days away from really, really bad stuff, and I'm gonna let it break. And Terry, what say you?
Yeah, that's a good question because I have the same problem with my kids. And my daughter thinks I'm nuts, even though everything I've ever told her that was going to happen has happened. And so all we can do is prepare ourselves, encourage them to prepare, and go back. I don't know if you can. You probably can't see it. I'm wearing a T-shirt she sent me, right? And it says on the T-shirt, "I'm a conspiracy theorist. My pronouns are told you so." I got a kick out of that. She must be listening to something I'm saying. But what we need to do is continue to. Hey, well, let me go back. You said something, Bob, that's true. We have lived in a wonderful country where we had everything we ever needed. When we had storms or problems, they went away soon and we were back to normal. And people are stuck there. That's where they think we are right now. Right. I go to the grocery store, go to Costco. I see people buying trees and things to plant and all these things. They're going on like nothing ever happened. Of course, that's what it says in Genesis in the last days, that it's going to be like the time of Noah when everybody was eating and drinking and marrying and etc. and just having a great time until the flood came. And that's what's happening now, right now. Break. People are eating and drinking and marrying, having a great time, going to the fishing and all that fun stuff that we do without any thought that this may not continue the way we've always had it. Now, I believe in having fun. I love to fish. I like to fly fish. I like part of the ham radio things. I do all these things. But at the same time, I realize that we're not living in the world where I grew up in. And things have changed and we need to be prepared. And I think that's what we need to tell people. We need to urge them. Hey, enjoy your life. God gave this to you. Enjoy it. But put things away. When you go shopping, buy extra stuff, stick it away, and leave it there. Every time you go shopping, buy extra stuff, stick it around. Have a generator. I mean, gosh, I bought a great one at Costco on sale for $6.99, and I bought 2 electric ones, Pecrons, for $6.79 on sale. So, I would use that money to buy a gun, break. Or maybe take a little vacation somewhere for a couple of days. And of course, I've got enough guns, my wife says. And so why not buy another generator and be prepared for when the poop hits the fan? At least we'll be prepared. Now, one thing I'm not talking about and haven't talked about and won't talk about at this point, right? As a believer, I believe in the thing called the pre-tribulation rapture. Some believe differently. That's okay. I believe in the pre-trib. So I believe that when the poop gets really ready to hit the fan, there's going to be a time, a season when Christians are removed from the earth here. And that's a different topic at a different time. But so I'm hoping and believing that I'm not going to be around when everything finally starts in the tribulation, the 7-year tribulation. But until then, we don't know how long it's going to happen, when it's going to happen, how long we have to wait. So we need to be prepared. It's KJ7RER. Back to you, Bob.
All right, let me see if I've got it. Kind of like a 3-ring circus. This is K6UDA for the Southern Idaho Preparedness Net. Great comments on the YouTube side. Right now, 58 people still on board over there. 15 nodes running today, which is just awesome. Thank you guys so much. Together, we are actually building this community, and hopefully, when it starts to get bad, we're gonna be there for each other. We're gonna, we might be across the country, but one of the things that I had always thought of, and with the internet outages that have been happening, and the internet plug that they talk about, and this kind of goes back to what we're doing over here, and I'm going to let it break. The government here understands full well that we are very much preoccupied with the phones, and every 12 to 20-year-old is living on their little mobile devices, watching videos and doing stuff. And I think, other than an EMP that takes everything out, I think if the government were to limit or do the internet kill switch, I think what they want to do is they want to kill off social media, where people have the ability to organize, to tell each other where to go, what to do, and pass along information that the government probably doesn't want us to pass along to each other. And I'm going to let it break again. A forum like this, here on the radio especially, the YouTube side of this may very well go away, where they kind of kill us off of YouTube, and we don't have the ability to get on social media and exchange ideas and information. But I think our slice of the radio, of the internet that we're using on the radio right now, I don't think that's on their radar. So I truly believe that when it starts to go, if it's a slow decline, if they kind of bring it down in stages, we're still gonna have what's on the top of your screen. They're still gonna have the Wires X, or at least the YSF. The YSF server is mine. I control it. I decide what's on there, and it's for all of us. So this is prepping, my friends. No matter what you think, this is still prepping. This is still training. We're training, and I encourage everybody to keep it up. I would like to do more nets, more on the radio, and not have to worry about switching boards and stream decks and all the crap that I'm doing behind the scenes right now. I would just like to be on the radio exchanging information. And I know a lot of you guys would too. So I encourage you to get involved. At least key up and let us know you're out there on YSF if you're listening on YSF. At least check in. There's 15, 15 now. Uh, 15 nodes that are connected on Wires X, which is awesome. Very, very cool. 69 people right now on YouTube. Let's see. KC3 LKI. He says not hearing the net on KB7SQS repeater via Echo Link today. Yeah, if you're listening, if you're trying to listen to the net, go to the 442.000. guys, we've got a little infrastructure here going on, and it's only going to help us when we really need it. And we need more topics. We need us to be discussing things that are going on, things that we think this is why I love this subject. I love Terry coming on here and giving his perspective from the biblical sense, because this is nothing new. This is actually nothing that the world hasn't seen before. And Terry, what say you?
It's KJ6RER. Yeah, I'm really happy to see it going the way it is and people paying attention and listening. I think most of the people that monitor this channel are all in the same mind. And we are concerned for our families, our children, our neighbors. And, a lot of our neighbors know that we may be prepping. The question is, if you don't get them prepping, they're going to be knocking on your door and wanting some of your prep, and how do we handle that? So that's things that we need to talk about in the future. How do we handle people that knock on our door, break? But also, one of the things that, we need to have our houses prepared. I mean, I have not a great big lot, but I have a good enough sized lot where I have blind spots. And if somebody wanted to come in when things get, tight, I've done certain things around the outside. I have not only cameras, but I have little alarm types of things. Actually, they're kind of funny. They're break for a sec. They're, the kind of alarms you set up, like in a long driveway where it rings when you go by it, it just goes beep. And so you have a monitor in the house. And so I have 4 of those set around the house. So if you sneak into the backyard and try to get one place to another at night, it rings and lets me know. I have outside lights that come on when somebody passes, by the beam there. And things like that, just to let me know if somebody's out there. Now, I'm not paranoid, but I am watching out for it break. So it's good to see all these people that are interested. And I'm sure that if they had an opportunity to talk, they could probably add a whole bunch of stuff to what you and I have been saying all along, Bob. So that's it, KJ7RER.
Okay, thanks, Terry. Man, we're nine past the hour. Does anybody have anything else for the good of the order?
W6CJ.
W6CJ, go ahead.
Yeah, Bob and everyone, very interesting. W6CJ, Jay in Los Angeles. This is probably old news to some of you, but many months ago, LA City and LA County opened up the CCW permit process, and well, did they get a lot of applicants. Before, it used to be very strict, and LA City, that I can speak of, you needed to show cause, or you needed the CCW permit break. At the time, I had a PI license and an exposed to carry permit, but that wasn't good enough to have a PI license. So, yeah, they were really strict about the CCW. But that has opened up, and people are applying. You do have to take a 8 or 16-hour, I believe, safety course that's on the list with the law enforcement agency whose jurisdiction you're applying in. So at least some good news from out here on the left coast. That's all I have. W6CJ.
Yeah, Jay, thank you. That's, it's encouraging news. I knew it was coming. unfortunately, California, the state of California, and Gavin have passed laws now that basically take law-abiding citizens in California and hamstring them. Almost every place in California is a no-go zone with when it comes to firearms. Mrs. K6UDA is mowing outside as Idaho law dictates women, the wives, have to mow the lawn. So she's running the mower out there. Do we have anything else? Terry, cover the mic when you cough. You're blowing out my speakers. Do we have anybody else? Anything else for the good of the order before we close the net?
This is KK7JTK.
Matt, go ahead.
Yeah, I just have a correction on the sit rep this morning. I initially reported that there was a possible airstrike into Tehran. And again, we didn't exactly have details when I first went over that report. Due to lack of my follow-up, now it is being reported that that was a Mossad strike. So the pre-planted bomb, they're mentioning that it had AI technology. I imagine that was used for voice recognition, and then that was remote detonated. So that's another reason why that precision strike was so precise, obviously, because it was pre-planted. So sorry about the false report there. Just wanted to remedy that.
Thanks for the update. Anything else on radio side? Anywhere? Anybody? All right, with that, I'm going to go ahead and close the radio portion of the net and release all the repeaters, all 15 repeaters and nodes that are on. I'm going to release you guys to your normal repeater operation. You're all welcome to hang out here anytime on the Idaho Command. Love to have you, especially Idaho stations. If there are any Idaho stations out there monitoring this, my goal to build a network where we could get on and talk about things that are going on in Idaho at any given time. So with that, I will say 7-3 to everybody on the radio. This is Bob K6UDA for the Southern Idaho Preparedness Net. 7-3, guys. Okay, and that should kill that. We should be off. Terry, you're back on here. And let's see. Everything across the board looks good. And it's just back to us with everybody here on YouTube. Man, 2 thumbs down. How about that? Who gave a thumbs down? Are you still here? And if you did, I would like to know why. Is it just a personal thing? Is it a you hate prepping thing? Is it a you hate Trump thing? I don't know. Or the Bible or God or whatever. I would like to know. I think everybody would like to know. So, yeah, and I want to welcome. We still got 48 people here. I want to welcome everybody who's new to this. Please, if you've been here before, spread the word. Invite people you know. Send them an invite on email. I can only do so much. I try. I truly, I know that that the channel has been shadow banned on YouTube because they don't like content like this. So the reach on YouTube has gone way, way down. The engagement on YouTube has gone way, way down. The only way I can counter that is by you guys sharing the content on your social medias, sharing it. Do I plan to start live streaming on Rumble? Yes. I have been working on that. Rumble, they needed to put out it's called an ATK. I don't know. It's some kind of a program that allows third parties to dig into their software and bring things up like the chat. Right now, I can only do a live stream on Rumble with it's called an RTMP feed, and which means I only put out stuff. I can't get the chat into the window, which to me is a huge part of this, since it's a net, and since you guys are supplying probably at least 50% of the information that we're discussing here. Oscar Meyer, thank you very much for that. Pamela, thanks for pumping the show there. That's awesome. I love it. 52 people so far on the stream. We've got 55 thumbs up. Now it shows 60 people. Let's get 60 thumbs up to counter the 2 bad ones. Terry, what say you? Did you have a good time being the first ever remote guest on here?
Yeah, it was interesting. It took us 2 days to get this thing working right, so that we wouldn't be echoing like we're talking in a cave. So, but you did it. You made it work. So then I was having a little problems here with my camera. It'd be nice if I could use a different camera other than my phone. Kept falling down. Then I have it set up for my radio, and the radio wanted to slip down, and so I ended up taping things so they don't move. So we just gonna have to do this better.
Yeah, we got to get you a webcam that you can throw on a computer there and do it upright. I would love to have Jeff be a remote guest. Jeff, maybe one of these days you should try to get in. I think we're gonna jump over to Discord, over to the Discord server, and I'm going to put that up. If you're still here watching on YouTube, you can click the link that I just posted and jump on. Oh, hang on here. Now we got radio coming. Good morning, Lance. Go ahead. KB7SQS, K6UDA. Go ahead, Lance.
There you are. I heard a guy say he was listening on Echo Link through my stuff, so maybe in the future I'll just connect the 2 rooms together like I have. But we need to get that YSF node over here that'll help us some. Just thought I'd pass that on. AB7SQS.
Yeah, definitely. I've got to call. I'll call Ken and and pick that thing up from his place and move it over to you. I'm still doing the live stream over here, so I'm going to get back to that. And good to talk to you this morning. Good turnout on the net too.
Good deal. Yeah, I think just hooking the two YSFs together, once we get that, get yours over here, I think that'll make this work pretty good. So, anyway, catch you later. KB7SQS.
All right, Lance. Good to talk to you, K6UDA. All right. Yeah, I think it's time to jump over to Discord. Terry, do you think you might want to try Discord?
I have to do some garage stuff before it gets any hotter.
Ah, okay. Yeah, it has been getting hot here in Idaho, my friends. Contrary to popular belief, it's been upwards to 100 degrees, a little over 100 yesterday. And I guess they say it's going to continue to be hot. They call it hot and shitty. At least it isn't. At least it isn't like 80% humidity and 100% heat. So, anyway, guys, wow, 70 people still in the stream right now. This is freaking awesome. I almost don't want to kill this thing off. Well, before we do, let's just see. Oscar Meyer says, first time joining the show. I'll test my Pi Star and FT5 before the next show and get my Wires X back online. Have a great weekend. KD2 RLE. Yeah. You know what? You can get your Pi Star running on YSF and go into the Idaho command on YSF 40448. On both. Hey, Bob. Yeah.
It's I wanted to give a shout out to Normie Howard Buck. He says, I like this. It may get worse before it gets worse.
Yeah.
So that's good. I love that. He's right on. It's going to get worse before it gets worse. And that's good. Thanks for putting that in there, Normie.
Yeah, definitely. Birdbath Daily. Rob, one of my old buddies from Quartzsite there. It's a cold front in Arizona. 100 degrees is a cold front. It's very, very hot here, my friend. Very hot. That's what we call it. David, AI6K in North Texas. Very cool, Dave. Good to see you. I'd love to see who else is in the chat here. And I'm gonna put up. I'll put the Discord thing up one more time, and then I think it's about time for us to kill it off. Yeah, because we've been on for over an hour and a half now, and Mrs. K6UDA is busy out there mowing the lawn before it gets too hot. So, does anybody have anything else before we shut this one down? Terry, I want to thank you for doing this. This was awesome. This was a great net, and we need to kind of make this more of a regular kind of a thing. And Matt, you in there? I want to get you on. Bird Tracks 1863. Bird Tracks 1863. Very cool. Good to see you. Howard, don't be afraid to step out on a limb. If you truly believe, there's nothing to fear. Yep. Totally agree. There it is. All right, guys. I'm going to go ahead and say 7-3 to everybody here. And I'm going to fire up the after show chat on Discord, and we'll reconvene over there. That's where everybody can get in, camera or not. We could see each other, hear each other, and just BS for a little bit. So anyway, thank you all so much for being here today. This is what helps build the community. That's what this is all about. This is not about me. It's not about a show. This is about you. This is about us getting information from each other that'll keep us safe, that'll keep us motivated, and hopefully keep us alive until the rapture. Anyway, guys, I'm going to say 7-3. It has been real. We'll see you next week. I'm Bob, K6UDA. And that's it from the Southern Idaho Command. Boom.